Hi there, Stan, the Annuity Man. Question of the day, how are annuities taxed? How are fixed annuities taxed? Keyword tax, you know. It upsets me that the IRS lives in our head rent-free, but they do. One of my missions in life is to prevent that, and so that you go live your life. We're going to talk about how annuities are taxed, so at least you know on a 30,000 foot, from a 30,000 foot view. But I don't want you to get fixated with it and just live by that. And too many people that call me are living, it's kind of like the IRS is dictating how they're going to live. And they're trying to beat them, and they're trying to beat them. You can't. You know, let's just do the best we can. We're going to talk realities, as only Stan the Annuity Man can. And oh, by the way, licensed in all 50 states and Puerto Rico. Office is based in Las Vegas. It's kind of funny because all we do is contractual guarantees, and that town is all about risk. But you know, we put it there so we can be open 68 hours a week, 12 hours a day, and 8 hours on Saturday. But we're going to talk about all of this after this. So how are fixed annuities taxed? Well, if you're not in a Roth IRA, it's not taxed. You've already paid all of those upfront taxes to the IRS, and hopefully that calculation is working in your favor from the standpoint of break-even point. But if you have annuities inside of an IRA, or if you have annuities outside of an IRA in a non-IRA account, we call it non-qualified, but it's non-IRA, that money coming out, those earnings are taxed at ordinary income levels at the time of this taping. Now, I need to be very clear that you should take no tax advice from anyone other than a CPA or a tax lawyer or someone who is qualified to give tax advice. I think there's some registered investment advisors that's passed some type of tax certification within their CFP model that they can do that. But you know, Johnny Appleseed agent down the road, me, you know, even though I've been doing it for 30 years and forgotten more than most people ever know about all of this, not qualified for that, don't want to be qualified for that. In fact, one of my many lawyers that surround me and hug me, make me feel safe, he's a tax lawyer. And he literally went to the University of Florida and decided, without someone putting a gun to his head, to specify in taxation. And I looked at him and went, what would possess a person to just focus on that? That's crazy. That's like, I'm going to study vomit. I'm going to look at all types of vomit, vomit from animals and vomit from people, and I'm vomit from different countries, and then I'm going to, to me, I'd rather analyze vomit. I'm kidding. I pay my taxes, man. I pay my taxes because my wife makes sure that we pay taxes. She's in charge of the taxes. She deals with the CPAs, and then I'm like, whatever, man, whatever. My point is, don't let the IRS live in your head for free. There's no, people say, well, I'm going to get tax-free income, son. I'm going to get tax-free income from that Roth. Hey, player, you already paid a crap a load of taxes to make it into a Roth. Or the people that say, well, I'm going to get a life insurance policy and just take a loan off of it, and that's tax-free income. No, player, that's a loan. That's not tax-free income. All right? Stop trying to thread the needle. Annuities can be tax deferred. That's one of the great things about them. In 1954, TIAA-CREF introduced the first variable annuity for tax deferred growth. You can buy MIGAs or index annuities for tax deferred quote-unquote CD-type growth. Notice I said CD-type growth with index annuities, so don't think that you're getting market growth with that. You're not. But you're going to have to pay taxes when you take out those gains at ordinary income levels. Even with immediate annuities, which is the granddaddy of all lifetime income products, keyword immediate, okay? So it can start as soon as 30 days from when the policy is issued, as far out as a year deferral. That income, let's say it's in a non-IRA account, that income is a combination of return of principal plus interest. You're going to have to pay taxes on the interest portion. Okay, and if you outlive your life expectancy, then all of it's going to be taxable if you draw the account down to zero. You're not going to beat the IRS. Please stop trying. Please stop making it a side job for you in retirement on how do we pay the least amount in taxes. How do we circumvent IRMA and whatever other things are out there that you're trying to not pay taxes on? Why not just go enjoy your life? Why not just set a lifetime income floor up for you and factor in the taxes and then go live your life in chapter 2? Go see the kids and the grandkids and buy the fifth wheel and buy the RV and travel and eat out. Buy the drink, as they say. You know why I say buy the drink? Okay, tell that story. My mom and dad's passed away about 7 years ago, but if he was here, he'd still do it. They go to the restaurant. Boy, them drinks are expensive. I'm telling you right now, we're not doing that. Let's order 2 waters and a bunch of lemons. Squeeze the lemons in the water. Put sweet and low in the water with lemons and call it lemonade. Table lemonade. Buy the drink. Forget carpe diem. Buy the drink. So, are you going to pay taxes on annuities? Yeah, ordinary income levels at the time of this taping. But put it in the back of your head, not the IRS. This thought. At the time of this taping, if you go to New York and you see the building where they have the debt clock, I used to walk by there eating a bagel and go, that's not good. It's at 39 trillion and counting. I saw some smart dude the other day and say, well, I think it's 100 trillion if you count all in. Great. Okay, super. What does that mean to me and you who worked, scrimped, saved, done without, paid the tuition in full for our kids, drove the crappy car for a long, long time, not doing that anymore, but we've done it the right way. What's that mean to us? What do you think it means? I mean, you know what it means. They're coming, man. They're coming. They're coming. The people that don't have money, whether it's self-inflicted or just a bad turn of luck, they're going to vote for our money to get it, to get more of it, to confiscate it. Craziest thing I've heard recently was politicians talking about, let's tax unrealized capital gains. And you're saying, Stan, what in the world are you talking about? Let me put it in Stanglish for you. Unrealized capital gains is you own a house and you paid $100,000 for the house, and it's now worth $500,000. Unrealized capital gains means the politicians want you to pay taxes on the $400,000 gain even though you haven't sold it yet. This has been happening for large farmers in, say, Iowa and ranchers in Texas where they died, they don't have the state in order, and they have to sell the ranch or the farm to pay the taxes. I'm not scaring anybody. I'm just saying, let's think logically. Let's live life right now. My newest saying that some people hate and some people love, and I don't really care either way because it's the truth. Eventually, I'm warning you, Big C out behind the camera, I don't want you to spit out your drink. Eventually, we're all going to be drooling into a cup and shitting in our pants. And if you say, well, that depends, exactly, that's what you're going to be wearing. Okay? So why not let's put the contractual guarantees in place. Let's build up that income floor. Let's build up those contractual guarantees so that you can enjoy things while you're not drooling and shitting in your pants. One of the worst things I ever saw was my dad before he died. And if you ever saw the movie The Great Santini or read the book The Great Santini by Pat Conroy, do that. That was my dad. My dad was a MFer. He was a bad dude, man, and he didn't take shit. But at the end, he was shitting on himself. At the end, my dad wore a diaper. At the end, my dad, who had scrimped and saved and really not enjoyed the money, couldn't. Those type of things leave a scar. My wife calls it the scars of scarcity. And what the scars of scarcity means is that a lot of us grew up poor or without or did without or scrimped and saved and were taught to do that. And even with money, we still do that. Nod your head. Nod your damn head. Yes, I'm right. And I'm sorry to cuss a little bit. I need to get your attention. This topic was on taxes. How are annuities taxed? Ordinary income levels, but that's not the point. The point is you. The point is putting things in place and living life right now. One of the fun things that I'm doing, I'm going to close with this, is these hats I wear, I have fun with them. and everyone always asks for them. And I'll send you one. If you send me, if you're a client, you get one anyway. But if you're thinking about being a client, you can send me an email, stan@theannuityman.com. As long as we have them, I'll ship them to you. But there's one catch. You have to send me a picture of you in it in a place where you're traveling or a restaurant that you never go to. That's the key, okay? You know, my job as the annuity man is to educate and entertain, edutain you so you can make a good decision on your terms and your time frame. But my other job as I get older is to remind you that we're all getting older, okay? And taxes are an issue, but they're not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is you, okay, and your lifestyle. Do me a favor. I actually talked about lifetime income in this video above me. See the clock spinning? I'd encourage you to look at that because right now lifetime income is a bargain because the life expectancy tables are a bargain. I explain why, but you need to look at that. And you know, when you talk to us and schedule a call, we'll talk about how things are taxed. We're not tax advisors, but we'll tell you. And you just need to nod your head and go, yep, I'm going to factor that in. I'm going to move on. All right? Is that a deal? Nod your head? Absolutely. My name's Stan, the Annuity Man. See you next time.